What's going on, everybody? It's Jared, aka Big Man Sports Cards, and today we're starting off the new series on my YouTube channel. We're going to talk about set collecting. I feel like set collecting is a vital thing in this hobby. Collectors do it. If you're a collector like me, you enjoy doing this. I might be an old soul, but I feel like set collecting is very important, and we're going to talk about it. So what is set collecting? Set collecting is really just finding every single base card that there is in a set and putting them together. And today, I'm going to show you one of several sets that I've completed over the years. These two binders that are sitting in front of you and me today is the first set I ever collected. It's a special set because it was from my grandparents. They had these cards sitting in their basement from when my mom and her siblings were very young, and they've kept them from over the years, and I'm going to share them with you today. I want to preface this by saying that this is one of my favorite sets. I have other sets that I also enjoy, but this is one of my favorites because of that reason. And I'll talk along the way about how I finished it, how I acquired the cards, or more about how I acquired the cards, and so on and so forth. So let's get to it. Now, you might recognize these cards from this year's set inserts. 2025 Top Series 1 and 2 have included inserts of 1990 Topps Baseball. This was my very first set. Let me tell you, it was not an easy set to complete. It was a lot of grinding, a lot of finding people who had certain cards, and it took a long time, but it was a lot of fun. My grandparents had a majority of them down in their basement in the box. So a lot of these cards are not in the greatest condition. But it was just so much fun. I mean, you have some great players here. And you have some not great players. Let's see what we can find. So, we got a older George Brett right here. This is 1990. Got him right there. And I mean, the colors on this is peak 90s colors. You got the green, you got the blue, you got the yellow. I mean, it's just awesome. Who else we got here? We got Ron Kittle. I remember him. I collected his cards for a little while. I don't know why. I was a kid, but I did. Curt Schilling. You got a young Curt Schilling. Look at that. What else we can find? So, if you collect this year's Topps, you'll see these cards like a Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge or Pete Armstrong in this design, which I think is pretty cool. Over here, you got Will the Thrill Clark. Got some 90s names for sure. This was definitely peak junk wax, but it was a fun series, fun set to collect. We have on the left side, we have John Franco, got a Robin Ventura. What else we have? Bert Blyleven is on the Angels. Got a checklist. I'll keep going through these. What else we got? Got the Hawk, Andre Dawson. I got these in two binders as well. We got a young Edgar Martinez. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice card. A young Craig Biggio as a catcher. Growing up, when I was a kid, he was a second baseman. I never remembered him as a catcher. We got Bobby Witt Sr. That's a cool card. What else we got on here? Did not know this, but Tim Raines, yeah, Rock Raines. I did not know they sent him as they put them in the set as Rock Raines. So that's pretty cool. So, you know, this keeps going on. I saw there was a Barry Larkin before. I forgot to show that. Don Mattingly right there. Barry Bonds, look at that, a young Barry Bonds. So I won't show the entire. And then we have another binder down here with the rest of the collection. So like I said before, this set reminds me of my grandparents. My grandfather's no longer with me, but he was a big sports head. He loved the Phillies. So this is kind of like an honor to him. So just a little bit more information of this set. This set has 792 cards. There's a couple inserts and other related sets. There's some mail-ins. Of course, there's the Frank Thomas no name on front. I do not have that one. That would be cool to have. But I think the favorite cards in my set are on the front page, the very first page, numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. The Nolan Ryan's cards, because there was the 5,000 strikeouts. Those were the hardest, but also the coolest to find and get, because Nolan Ryan's such a legendary pitcher, and to do that and get that legendary record with 4 different legendary teams, with the Mets, Angels, the Astros, and Rangers, is pretty much unheard of. So, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it again, this is, again, one of my favorite sets. Maybe not the most valuable or collectible, but still one of the coolest. And of course, in this YouTube video, I would love to show you off some pickups. I love using the Klex app to find some more stuff that I have for my sets. I picked up many different cards for 2 sets. I'm completing the 2005 Fleer Tradition, so I picked up several cards for that set that I do not have. Joe Pinheiro, Todd Walker, Matt Stairs, Phillies fans, you know who Matt Stairs is. And then you got the statistical leaders. And you have the for the AL ERA leaders and the AL wins leaders. And then for 0809 Fleer, I got Adam Morrison, Tracy McGrady, Manu Ginobili, and Yao Ming. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you next week for episode 2. Peace out, guys.